Young Bronson. Alright. Let's go. Come make we go. Whoa. Come make we go. Yeah.
Hello again. I hope everyone is well. So in this video, I'm just gonna share with you guys how I make my own locks for lock extensions.
It's me and you together.
I made these for a client of mine. She came from Atlanta, Georgia to get them done, and this is what the finished product looked like. But before getting that product, I had to make the locks. This is the hair that I used. This is the hair that she preferred and she ordered. It is the Milky Way Afro hair. It is very affordable in my opinion when it comes to hair for that purpose. I also used a crochet needle that I got from Michael's. It came in a pack of 6 of them, and the ones that are missing are the ones that I'm currently using. It is the 1.4, 1.5, and I believe 1.25. That one there is the 1.4, and as you can see, it is metal and it has a hook at the end, not that end but this end here. And how I start is I just grab a piece of hair that I feel will create the desired size of the lock that she wants, and I start by choosing the end that that's gonna be the end of the lock, basically. Once that is done, I grab my crochet needle and I start to create a knot in the direction. I'm pulling the hair in that direction to create a knot, and all I'm doing literally is pulling hair from the outside of that afro hair to the inside to simulate a lock. So for the knot, I'm just doing that very intensely, and I'm also packing in the hair because this is the basis of which I'm gonna go ahead and create the whole lock. So it needs to be very stable, it needs to be very dense, that way the rest of the lock will follow suit. And it takes a lot of patience to do this. When I first started doing these, it would take me a good 10 to 15 minutes to complete a lock. Now it takes me about 6 to 7 minutes because I've kind of perfected my craft and my technique. So now it doesn't take me that long to make them. Of course, 7 minutes for one lock is still a long time. However, it could be longer. And this is I'm just, like I told you guys before, just pulling the hair from the outside, bringing it in, and rolling that lock, doing the same thing to every side of the lock to make sure it doesn't come out flat, but you get a nice round, natural looking lock extension. I'm just gonna speed it up a little bit because I think you guys should get the idea of what I'm doing by now. So as you can see, there's like a little loop or dent, whatever you want to call it, in there. That would be the weak spot of the lock extensions. Yes, lock extensions do have weak spots. So what I really do is I go through and generally form the lock extension. I don't worry about it being perfect just yet. However, when I'm done forming the entire lock extension for the length that I want or the length that my client desires, then I go back through and I reinforce the lock and resecure the lock with the same exact motion that I'm doing here. Just go back through and pull hair from the outside to the inside, outside to the inside, and keep rolling it as you do. And here's the finished product. I did go back for those weak spots, and it is to where I feel like I'm satisfied with it. If there's anything to be fixed in there, I usually fix it once I am attaching it to the hair. And this is just a recap of what I did in case I went a little too fast. I just, like I said before, find the end that's going to be the end of my lock and just start packing hair in there with my crochet needle, and I keep rolling it around as I go to make sure that the lock stays round and uniformed. And that's pretty much all there is to it. All it takes is patience and practice. If you don't practice this and you just get up one day and feel like you want to do it, it might not work out as well. But if you do practice, you put the time in, you will perfect your craft and you will definitely be able to get this down. Also, I was using 3 different sizes of needles, and they're not that far from each other in size. However, sometimes I found it easier to use a certain size, like when my thumb got a little bit too overworked from the finer needle. The thicker needle was kind of a little relief for me, so I guess that's something that I guess you guys could keep in mind also. You don't have to use the same exact measurement, the same exact size needle that I did. You can use something that's bigger, smaller, depending on what you're making. If you're making locks that are thinner, then you will probably have to stick with the smaller hook. But these locks are kind of medium size, so I was able to use a slightly bigger hook when I felt the need to feel the texture of the hook, and it didn't damage the lock and it didn't change the uniformity of anything, so it worked out fine. Also, I usually keep one lock that's my reference lock. That way I make sure that every lock is the same length. That way when I do install them, they're a natural length, it's a natural layer, and it's not one lock is too long, one lock is too short. However, if that happens, I do have a way to fix that. As for how much hair I leave out at the other end that's going to be attached, it all depends on how long the client's hair is. My client's hair is not that long. She has a tois or teeny weeny afro, so the hair at the end didn't need to be that long. It just needed to be at least half the length of her hair to attach securely.
Make we go, yeah. Come make we go, whoa. Come make we go. I'm ready now. Oh my lady, it's me and you together. Say we go last forever in any kind of weather. The way you dance, they make me they go low. Say your moves, they make me go loco, go loco, aye. Say I don't mind what you do, you will always be my boo. Yeah, yeah. Say I don't mind what they say.
And that's it for that one. Usually when I'm done, I palm roll it a little bit to make sure everything is nice and uniformed. And of course there's going to be little imperfections, but that's what makes it look natural, in my opinion anyway. The frizz, all of that ties into it looking more natural. That one's a bit thin. I don't think I ended up using that one. And these are a few that I did at that point in time. And this is my client's hair. This is her teeny weeny afro. And we're gonna go ahead and install those. If you'd like to see how I install them, check out part 2 of this video. This is the finished product once again. Check out that part 2 video, and I will see you guys in that one. Bye guys. Oh, by the way, my lovely client here is on YouTube. Her name is Nita561. I will include it in here somewhere. Thank you again for watching. See you in part 2.
Honey, honey, where you moving that body? They make me want to throw it.